We're monitoring a new study out of the Netherlands that suggests that the flu can increase a person's risk of getting a heart attack. Researchers found a person is 6 times more likely to suffer a heart attack within a week of being diagnosed with the flu than in the year before or after their infection. They say these findings underscore the importance of getting a flu shot and hopefully raises awareness of heart attack symptoms for people who do have the flu. Now, while the results don't specify whether those with less severe flu cases are also at risk, researchers say it's still important to be aware of a possible link. And the WHO now saying that healthy kids and teens may not need to get the COVID vaccine. And the rule change is meant to prioritize vaccines for those who are at the greatest risk of death and severe disease. Boosters still being recommended for older people, those with compromised immune systems, pregnant women, and frontline healthcare workers. And meanwhile, the FDA is currently considering a second bivalent shot for those groups. The FDA expected to make an official decision on this within the next few weeks. Many vaccine specialists have been urging the FDA to authorize a booster similar to what's already been approved for high-risk individuals in Canada and the UK. And for more, we are joined by Dr. Peter Hotez. He's the co-director of the Texas Children's Hospital Center for Vaccine Development. It's good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Would the second round of boosters be identical to the booster already available that targets Omicron?
Yeah, that's the plan. So the bivalent booster that the early adopters got last September, now we're coming up on 6 months. Historically with the monovalent booster, the previous boosters, we've seen waning of protection against not only infection, but also even hospitalization and severe disease. We don't know if that's the case with the bivalent booster just yet, but if it goes by the same playbook as the previous monovalent boosters, there's a high probability that's the case. And so a number of us are quite enthusiastic about authorizing a second booster, particularly bivalent booster, particularly for those high-risk groups, older Americans, and those with underlying risk factors.
And we're looking at these numbers from the CDC. Less than 17% of those who were eligible for the first bivalent even got one in the first place. Are you concerned that so few Americans have even decided to get their first booster and we're already talking about a second one?
That's right. So right away the ceiling is not going to be high. The ceiling, at best, we're going to get to 17% and probably significantly under that, maybe even only 10%. But still, for those who want that option, I think we should make it available, particularly those individuals who are immunocompromised. I'm hearing a lot from those individuals. They're quite worried about having that vulnerability and they want that second booster. And I think we should authorize it. I think part of the reason we have that low uptake for the first booster is people don't really understand the difference between a monovalent and bivalent booster. Now that we're kind of opening up things and there's more in-person meetings, I'm hearing more and more from individuals say, hey, I didn't even know there was the new booster was different from the old one. So the public health communications has been inadequate about this, and a lot of people aren't aware of it. But so you're right, only 70% of Americans have got it. I doubt we'll get even close to that, but those who want the option should have that available.
And in one sentence, what is the difference? What does make the bivalent different?
The bivalent has is comprised of the original vaccine against the original lineage that came out of China, plus it's made the second component is made against the BA4, BA5 variant, which more closely resembles the XBB 1.5 variant that's currently circulating. So it affords better protection against this newer variant.
I appreciate that. One more question. The White House says that President Biden does plan to sign a measure that ends the COVID national emergency. Meanwhile, the U.S. is still averaging more than 100,000 cases, a couple thousand deaths from COVID every single week. Do you think the country is moving on too fast from COVID?
No question the number of cases is going down, although it's with a pretty long tail and we still have hospitalizations. I think, what I'm particularly worried about is if, as we head of later into the summer, into the fall, whether we're going to see another big wave. So although things look more encouraging right now, the cases are going down. We're not seeing any new obvious variant pop up yet, as we have in the past. I think we have to be really careful and vigilant for another possible wave later in the fall.
If there is potentially a wave in the fall, and we're out of time, so very last question, should one wait to get a booster then closer to that time rather than get it now?
It might be different. So get your bivalent booster now if it's available, and there's likely going to be quite a different booster as we head into the fall.
All right. Dr. Peter Hotez, Dean of the National School of Tropical Medicine at the Baylor College of Medicine, thank you so much.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.